Let us look at how databases have evolved over a period of time. So, how did the collection of data change over a period of time? So, in the earlier 1960s, we had data collections, but that was collected in terms of files. I'll give you a better picture of it. I think I've zoomed it too much. Okay, fine. So, earlier we were storing information in terms of files. Then came the notion of database management systems in 1970s until the early 1980s. So that's when you started having these SQLs and this online transaction processing. So they even had a language, right? SQL, which was able to perform different modifications, updates, and even transactions on these databases. And then came an entire big revolution to databases. That's when things like advanced database systems, advanced data analysis techniques such as data warehouses and data mining came into existence. And parallelly, we even had the evolution of internet. So even we had web-based databases. The difference between our database management systems and advanced database systems is that with our database management systems, we were only managing data which was written in text, right? It could be numbers, it could be your general characters, but it was mostly text. When it came to advanced database systems, these systems they had the capability to even store images, videos, and other complicated data structures. So with this, you even had the capability to store images like satellite images. You even could store maps. You even could store video streams. So that is how advanced data systems were different from your original database management systems. And then with this huge amount of information that was being gathered as time passed on, you had to have better equipment, and you cannot like wait or depend upon humans to extract important information. So that's when new techniques such as data mining and data warehouses came into existence. So with data warehouses, the emphasis has now changed from OLTP to OLAP. So OLTP was where you are trying to perform transactions. With OLAP, you're trying to analyze data, you're trying to summarize what was happening in the data. So that was what you were able to do with the help of new techniques such as data warehousing. And also with web-based databases, uh, they clearly understood, like people who are creating databases, they understood that information on internet wasn't like the information that you found in, let's say, relational databases. It was something different. So they needed to create new kind of databases which had a different structure altogether. And that's why they were able to come up with something called as web databases. Um, so that pretty much summarizes it. Yeah, so these three advanced database systems, data warehousing and data mining, and web-based databases, they form our new generation of database systems. Okay, so what brought the original need for data mining? By this time, a few of you guys might have figured it out. So this has been a notion. This has been a big word that is going around, big sentence. World has become data rich, but information poor. So what's the difference between data and information? Data is like a huge pile of, let's say, records. Information is that one record which has, what do you say, the data that is required to do a task, or the data that is helpful for us, right? So, yeah, as I already told you, decisions were previously made by experts. Now, what's the problem with that? So if experts were to make decisions, it's first of all error prone because we are all humans. And secondly, we have a lot of information, right? So we might even miss out on certain patterns or certain trends. So experts will not be able to give you a whole rounded, what do we say, definition to your, a whole rounded decision. And that's the reason expert systems have moved on, or at least are now moving on from humans to computer related expert systems. To help you understand this notion better, or how data mining has been changing our day-to-day lives, I'll give you a small explanation, a small example here. So this picture is from a movie called Moneyball. So you guys can check it out on internet. This is from a movie called Moneyball. So the guy on left is a very famous hero. His name is Brad Pitt. So this guy, I mean, that's not relevant anyway. This guy is American football team coach. Sorry, he's a baseball team coach rather, this guy. And this guy has nothing to do with baseball. He doesn't know the sport a lot. And this guy is the coach for a team called Oakland Athletics. So they have something like an IPL in US for baseball. So his team also competes there, and it's like a very poor team there. So they usually are at the bottom of the rankings. So what happened during one season is this guy, he employed this guy into the team who has nothing to do with sports. And it is because of this guy that the team goes on to play the playoffs for 2 consecutive seasons. Now, how did that happen? It's a total miracle. So if you are interested, you can go ahead and then watch that movie. But to give you a brief summary of what has happened. So this person has done a lot of number crunching. He has looked at a lot of previous statistics. So what he has recommended to their team is you buy certain players who are undervalued and put them in certain positions. So it's sort of like saying you buy a new player, so he usually plays at, let's say, opening position. Like if you were to like take a similar comparison with cricket, if he opens usually, and then this guy somehow finds out that if he plays at number 6 using his past records from domestic games, he says that he can have a better effect on the team winning. So he was able to find certain patterns like that and then give the input to the coach on the left hand side. And then with 1/3 the payroll, so with 1/3 of what they were investing in the players the previous years, they were able to reach the playoffs. So if that's an effect that a non-sporting person or a computer geek who knows data mining can have on a team winning, imagine the kind of effect that a normal person can do in other fields. So that's like a simple example that could trigger you guys to like take up data mining. So anyway, what is data mining? As we've already seen, it's all about finding patterns from data. So here we use the word knowledge. So extracting knowledge from large amounts of data is what we define as data mining. And this process is called as knowledge discovery from data sometimes. So this is analogous. But there are other notions to knowledge discovery as well. So knowledge discovery is not always equivalent to data mining. Some people say that data mining is a process, it's a sub part of a big process called knowledge discovery. So they say that knowledge discovery has a few parts. The first, initially, what you'll have to do in knowledge discovery is you have the raw information as data here. So this is like the raw information you have. So that is fed into the system, and then you're supposed to clean this data. So data has a lot of noise. It has lots of unnecessary content. So in data cleaning, what we do is we clean all that information, and then we go through a sub-step called as data integration, where you collect information from various sources and then bring them together. So that's data integration. And then there's another step called data selection, where you then select the data that is really important for you. So let's say you've collected information from different schools, and then you want to find out data that is relevant only to, let's say, the students. So in that case, you select only the student related data. So that is data selection. And then there's a step called data transformation, So even the information that is collected by you, it could be heterogeneous. That is, since it is collected from a lot of different places, everyone could be following a different format. So now you need to bring all of them together to a single format. So that is data transformation. And data mining is what we are talking about, where you try extracting some useful patterns from this particular data. And once that is done, in data mining, you basically extract a lot of patterns, but you're only interested in finding out certain important patterns. Like let's say your data mining techniques find out a lot of patterns related to students, but then you only are interested in finding out students who are doing well in sports. So you want to only find out patterns related to sports and students. So that is what you do in pattern evaluation. And finally, knowledge representation. So once you find out these patterns, you obviously need some or the other kind of data visualization technique, right, to represent all of them. So that is what we see in knowledge representation. So along this process, you have lots of stuff going around, like you have databases, you have data warehouses, you have knowledge bases, so lots of other stuff that goes around here. But there's a different viewing of data mining in businesses. Like if you look at our industries, we don't view data mining like this. We look at it as an entirely different thing. So how is it different? So all of our initial data is considered to be as a single entity. So be it from databases, be it from data warehouses, be it from World Wide Web or other repositories, it's considered as a single entity. And all of that is brought together in this step, in data integration. Data integration is where we bring all the stuff together, right? So that is the step where we bring all the information together to a database or a data warehouse server. And on top of this, you have something called as a knowledge base, which will help you create a data mining technique. And that technique as the basis for your data mining engine. And on top of that, it's the same thing. You do a pattern evaluation and then you create a user interface which helps you visualize your patterns. So that is like the minimum of the minimum basics you need to understand to go into data mining. So that's all we have here. In the next video, you're going to look at the different kind of databases that we deal with in data mining. Thank you.